What does it mean to have a balanced body, balanced training? What should be explored? We can look at the word balance in many different lights. Balance between the left side and the right side. Push and pull. External and internal development. Time spent in preparing the body and time spent moving the body. Creating tension and releasing tension. And we can go on and on and on. Through this video, you may also see where you are unbalanced and some tools to bring better balance to this aspect. I first want to start with a misconception. That misconception being that balance is 50-50. If we strive for this perfect symmetrical balance, we may be giving ourselves negative effects and actually going out of balance even more. We as human beings are asymmetric creatures. Now you may look at yourself and say, I have 2 arms, I have 2 legs, I have 2 eyes. Isn't this a symmetrical, balanced thing? But in actuality, we have a dominant eye, a dominant arm, a dominant leg, and on and on and on. So even in these aspects that are symmetrical, we have identical of them on either side, there are differences between these sides naturally. The other problem that comes up when you try to explore this 50-50 balance is that different aspects and qualities are stressed differently on different bodies. For example, many people that I work with can handle 1 hour of strength work multiple times per week. And it's not a huge amount of stress on their body. They can recover from it, make progress, and keep going. Strength training is this creation of tension in order to produce force. It's an external practice. So if we try to look at the opposite of it, some internal practice, releasing tension, we might look at some sort of meditation. Now imagine for this person, I program 1 hour of strength work per day, plus 1 hour of meditation, trying to bring this 50-50 balance. What would happen? The practitioner already knows. One of these in the person is probably going to be weighed much heavier than the other, so 1 hour of meditation does not equal 1 hour of strength work. If we were trying to find real balance between these, maybe 1 hour of strength work plus 10 minutes of meditation would start to bring this balance closer and closer together, and it's something that can be consistently done, which is also very important to say. Maybe I can do 1 hour of meditation in a retreat setting with a lot of groups around me, but as soon as I come home, is that still possible? Now, of course, in this example, you could be skewed either direction. Maybe 1 hour of meditation is pretty soft on your body and on the stress that it gives you. And 1 hour of strength work is now this tremendous thing that can't be consistently done. This is also possible. So we cannot look at balance as equal amounts of time, as differing practices will weigh much heavier and much lighter depending upon the individual person. I now want to bring up an ancient Daoist concept of Yin and Yang. Yin and Yang are these opposing forces. You can think of them as hard and soft, hot and cold, external and internal, fast and slow, and on and on and on. Although these are opposing forces, the combination of these forces is needed for life. You cannot have one without the other. Some of us are more internal, and some of us are more external and hard. It is not that one style or one attribute is better than the other, but understanding they are both needed to try to bring balance to our lives, our practices, our training. We want to understand and investigate where we are skewed towards more of the yin, more of the yang, and slowly we can start to integrate more practices where we lack. A lot of the times, these imbalances are hidden under the bed for years and years, maybe even close to a lifetime or an entire lifetime. It sometimes takes something extreme, such as a serious injury, to kind of wake us up and see, oh, I'm really lacking here. If we look at many different fields, we can see this very clearly. There are powerlifters and bodybuilders that spend their years developing all of this great tension, great strength. And after years and years of this type of work, some of them lose the ability to sit down on the floor or even walk in extreme cases. This is an extreme imbalance, and some people notice this and they start to work on mobility and getting range of motion, and some people don't until very late, and then they have to change their practice completely in order to bring back some basic patterns. When we start to understand where we are imbalanced, it's very important that we slowly work to bring balance to ourselves. And you like strength work and very hard practices, external, I wouldn't say, okay, you're so imbalanced, so we're going to do an hour of meditation every day. This might work for some people, but the jolt is probably going to be too much. Instead, we need to slowly build up some type of softer work. And then over time, over months and years, then we can build it to a higher and higher level, a deeper and deeper level. The side of the coin that is facing the ground needs time and effort to be polished and cleaned to look a little bit more like the side that's facing the sky. The other side of the coin can create tension, frustrations, negative emotions, and can push us away because of the intense imbalance and the wanting to remain comfortable. So how do we approach this work? If you like working hard, doing external movements, spend some time in stillness. Start laying supine on the ground. You can begin with just 10 minutes focusing on elongating the breath as much as you can without forcing anything. And over the course of weeks and months, you can build towards 20 minutes, maybe even towards 30 minutes, and slowly increasing, but also being very aware and conservative. If you have to stay at 10 minutes for a long time, that's not a problem. These changes will slowly start to happen when you're consistent with the practice. So if you jump in to half an hour a day, but then you quit a week later, it would have been better to stay for 10 minutes and stay like this for a year. You would have gotten much more benefits than just trying to push it way too early. If you like the internal practices being soft, then spend some time doing some energetic practices. Jumping rope, conditioning, strength training. It is not a bad thing in my perspective to spend a lot of your time on one side of the coin, or even completely on one side of the coin for some period of time. The problem comes is when we spend a lifetime on this side, or most of our life on this side, and leave the other side completely dirty. I don't think it's about trying to find perfect balance, but investigating the question, looking into your practice, and starting to slowly develop the attribute that is lacking. I hope this gave you some insight on balance, how we can bring balance to our training, our practice, our lives, and what you can do to explore. Thank you for watching. That's the session.